Welcome to day 20 of our challenge. Today we will make a huge step forward and switch over from in-memory database to SQL. So without further talking, let's get started. Okay, now let's install an SQL Server Express 2019. So simply search for it on Google, for example, but you can also for sure find the link directly in the description. And let's pick that, Microsoft SQL Server 2019 Express. It's completely free. So let's just move to that page. When you scroll a little bit down, you can see here the download button, right? So Microsoft SQL Server 2019 Express. Let me click on download. Okay, so after it gets downloaded, should just take some seconds. Go ahead and click on basic to install it, right? So simply accept the license agreement. Now pick a place where you want to install that SQL server. Let me just install it here. Now let the installation run through. Now after the installation is done, you can find SQL Express right here. So this is a connection string. We will cover that later on again. What I want you to do now is, first of all, that's the proof that SQL server is now installed. Go ahead and install SSMS, because we can create a user, which we will need later on using SQL. But this is really not what this course is about. So we will use UI instead, and SSMS is a GUI for, well, taking care about databases from Microsoft side. So go ahead and install SSMS right now. It should open up that link here. Download SQL Server Management Studio. Simply go ahead and click here on free download for SQL Server Managed Studio. Okay, so once it's downloaded, go ahead and install that too. So the installation is very simple of SSMS. Just click one time and let it run through. And afterwards you can come back here if you, well, haven't closed it now. So you can close it for sure now. Great. So now open up SSMS. So search for SQL Management Studio. Right, so Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio 18 and open that up. And now go ahead and click browse for more, for example, database engine. You can see I got that right here. So simply click on OK and then click on connect. And for you, it might already has been pre-selected, right? So now we need to create a database at first. So right click on databases and create a new database. Now pay attention. We have to name it exactly like this because we will reference it later on. Call it flights. So with an S in the end, flights. There we go. Now click OK. You can see the flight database here, and we will come back here later again to create a user, which we can then use to log in. Awesome. So now let's first of all add a new package to our application here, because we need to make use of Microsoft Entity Framework Core SQL package, SQL Server package, however. So go to Tools on the top side, NuGet Package Manager, and then Manage NuGet Packages for Solutions. And now search for Microsoft .entity framework core.sql server. There we go. And it's the first one here, Microsoft Entity Framework Core SQL Server, right? So check our project and hit install. Give it some time and then accept the license here. And now it's installed. So what we do next is we go into our program.cs, and you can see that we have, if you scroll a little bit down, that add DB context right here configured with options in memory, right? So you got that in line 10 for me. Now, this use in memory database, we will now replace it with use SQL server, right? And that's now available for us. We can simply go ahead and remove that database name right now. We don't need it anymore. Okay, and that's all what we're gonna do. So now go ahead and start the application in debugger mode, and you will be able to see just in a second that we will face an exception. There we go. So this exception happens right after trying to seed the database, right? So remember that we got the entities here, random flights to seed, right? This is the information we want to get into the database. And then we take entities, save changes, so where we save the database. And here he is throwing an exception. A relational store has been configured without specifying either the DB connection or connection string to use. So that totally makes sense, right? We have made use of SQL Server now, but we didn't specify any connection string or any other information. So now let me explain you what exactly we have to do next.